at Kezar to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time, and we're going to be predicting that schedule right there.
There's more to it also, but this is just what would fit on the screen.
17-0 apparently. No, I can't back that up. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting what you think. It's going to be interesting what I think. There's no guarantee this actually happens, but we have some thoughts about what the 49ers record could potentially be.
Look, listen, folks. Lots of thoughts, lots of feelings. If you missed the live stream yesterday, then you knew this was coming. All right. If you missed it, you didn't know this was coming. If you were there, you knew this was coming. Predictions, bold takes. What are the 49ers going to finish? And before we get into it, hit that subscribe button right this minute. Hit that notification bell. Hit that like button. All those things. Share the video with other 49ers fans out there. Let them know, what's up here on the 49ers Cutback. Because things are going to get a little crazy here. Things are going to get a little juicy here. We got some bold takes. I think we got some bold predictions on how this is going to go and how the season is going to play out.
And people still haven't figured out we're here yet. There are people that still message us every single day and don't realize, that we have a 49er show. Let your friends know so they can join in.
True.
This helps the conversation. It's fun getting everyone's point of view.
Yeah, we want to grow this channel. We want to grow that conversation. The only way to do that is to get more subscribers. Help us get to 1K today by hitting that subscribe button.
And you know what? We got to break down these games, and this is going to be a lot of fun. And it all starts with a trip to the East Coast, to Michigan, to Detroit, Michigan. In fact,
Motor City,
where the 49ers are going to be playing the Detroit Lions.
It's true.
I think this one could be a good game. Alex, how do you see this matchup going? Week 1, 49ers Lions.
Listen. If this was Matt Stafford, some of the stuff that they did and the decisions that they made in terms of the draft, taking Penei Sewell, I'd feel a lot better for the Lions. But that's not what happened. You have the gaff man. You have the gaff machine that is Jared Goff. Penei Sewell is not going to be able to protect Goff all by his lonesome. Healthy Nick Bosa returning. Improved Javon Kinlaw. The addition of Samson Ebukam. This defense is ready to roll. They're rip-roaring. They're hungry. Fred Warner has stated this team is not, no excuses.
Yeah.
No losses. We don't want them. We don't want them here. We're coming for you. And Jared Goff is going to get exposed by DeMeco. By DeMeco Ryans, our new D coordinator who is familiar with the gaff man, familiar with his strengths, familiar with his weaknesses. He's going to come up with a really great plan to come after this guy. San Francisco opens up the season with a big fat dub, 28-6.
Ooh, you got that defense locking them down.
Lock them down.
When I was looking at this game, you're right. Penei Sewell and Nick Bosa is going to be one heck of a matchup to watch. But Penei Sewell's not ready for Nick Bosa. Penei Sewell is a good player, but nobody's ready for Nick Bosa. I think that a lot of people are going to see him and just be like, run. Because you better run. Because he's coming after everyone. He's going to be looking to make big-time plays, and he's going to be impressive. And I think that this game is going to be real simple for the 49ers. They're going to pound the football. They're going to hit play-action passes, take advantage of the young defense that Detroit has, and they're going to be very successful. This is a program that's building in Detroit, but they're not ready yet. The 49ers are back with a vengeance, and I think the vengeance starts with a 31-13 shellacking of the Detroit Lions. 49ers start the season 1-0.
Now the question is, Ant, how long are they going to stay 1-0? Because the very next week, they got a matchup on the road again with a team that took it to them on a Monday night game last year. The Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. How do you see that game playing out for San Francisco?
Well, first, I see the 49ers staying in Youngstown, Ohio, and chilling and just waiting on the East Coast and practicing together, getting that bonding experience in that has proven to be very beneficial over the years. And I think they're going to do it again. And it's never easy to play in Philadelphia. No. I mean, that's one thing I know is it's never easy to play in Philadelphia. So I definitely have this game a lot closer than I did the Detroit game. And I think the 49ers are going to be scoring points this year. but I think Philly has some matchup issues for San Francisco. I think this offensive line, this is their first real test, of the season, going against that defensive line. But right now, Philly has a lot of holes to fill. They do have some athletic players on the offensive end, Jalen Reagor, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts. So those guys will be doing something, but Jalen Hurts is not ready for this defensive line. He is not ready for this secondary, and they're going to get it done. Fred Warner's going to lead this team in tackles in this game. The 49ers are going to win the game 27-17 to improve to 2-0.
I like that. I like that a lot. I actually have the game going very similarly early on. It's going to be an adjustment playing in Philadelphia. It always is, especially with the East Coast times when you're a West Coast team. The staying in Ohio should help a little bit. But that front four for the Eagles is impressive. They're something to worry about. Last year when we did that preview show, we talked about that being a problem if the line struggled against their front four. That was how Philly was going to stay in the game, and that's what they did. They caused havoc all night for Nick Mullins. He was uncomfortable, made bad throws, and we saw what happened. That ended up being just too many mistakes for the 49ers to overcome. That isn't the case this year, though. This O-line is improved.
Right.
And while it's still going to be a challenge, I think it means that the Niners get off to a slow start. Pretty slow start. Like 13-6 at halftime. Okay. Eagles get 2 field goals, 2 long field goals from Mr. Elliott, another Florida kicker, by the way. They're all over the league. They're everywhere. And then Goliath wakes up. And once Goliath wakes up, pretty much over for David and the Philadelphia Eagles. And this thing gets bad quick. Eagles put up 3 more points in the second half, and the 49ers drop a nice 34 bomb and win 34-9 to improve to 2-0. 2 big statement wins. First 2 games of the season, under 10 points for their opponents. That defense is ready to go this year.
That is absolutely impressive. And you know what? You get to go home now to Levi Stadium, Alex, and you get to welcome Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers for a big-time, prime-time game, Sunday Night Football. How do you see this one going? You got Green Bay or you got San Francisco?
Listen, folks. Last year was bad. We all hoped that game was going to be better, right? Like, I know I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I also wish I saw the game. The Joker decided to kidnap me, apparently. But that's beside the point, right? We all hoped that game was going to be better. And it just wasn't. Just the pieces didn't line. Like 5 guys sitting out for COVID. It was all bad.
Yeah.
It's all bad. That's not what's going on now, though. See, what's going on now is there's problems in Green Bay.
A little bit.
Smidge. I don't know if those problems get ironed out. I am going to say that Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing. He's going to be wanting to put on a show because he's going to be like, hey, Kyle, why don't you just make a deal that they can't refuse? He's going to be trying to sweeten Kyle Shanahan up a little bit. But you know what they can't do, Ant? They can't stop the run. They can't stop the run. Jimmy G throws 12 passes. Completes 11 of them for 145 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Very specific.
Yeah, very specific. It's bold and specific. 2 touchdowns. And the Niners rush for a combined between, I'll go with 3 of their running backs for right now. We'll go with Trey Sermon, Jeff Wilson, and Raheem Mostert. With those 3, 375 yards.
Holy cow.
Okay. Not a lot of points get put up, though, because they're just eating a lot of clock. A lot of big drives end up stalling out a little bit. They get some field goals. They beat the Packers 24-10, but just absolutely dominate the time of possession in a very one-sided game. The score doesn't indicate it, but afterwards, you know what happened.
Yeah, I see this one being close. I think that this is the first real test for the 49ers. Green Bay is going to be coming in there, and they know they got away with one last year on Thursday Night Football. The 49ers were beaten up. They were missing everyone, and they took advantage of it. That's not going to happen this time, but there's still going to be some key matchups to watch. Devontae Adams against the secondary, especially against Jason Verrett. What is going to happen there? But the one thing that Aaron Rodgers struggles against is a intense pass rush, and the 49ers have that intense pass rush, and I think that the run game is just going to wear them down. So I think at one point in this game that Green Bay will actually be winning. I have Green Bay winning the game at one point 23-20. And then the 49ers score 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
I like it.
And win the game 34-23. And Kinlaw is going to be the one that goes off for extra sacks in this game and shows up in a big way and shows them they should have kept their center because now they're in trouble. And they win the game, and the 49ers improve to 3-0 on the season.
So we got 2 3-0s to start off the year.
Do.
Two different paths though at this point. I got 2 big blowouts and then a handling of the Packers, and you got 2 big blowouts and then a tight one.
I do.
With the Packers, which is interesting because up next you got a division rival. A team that has all of the magic, Ant.
Yeah.
Is the Russ Wilson magic in full effect in week 4 for the Seattle Seahawks?
First thing I always look at when I look at the schedule is where is this game being played? This one is being played in San Francisco. Now, 2019, I know the Seahawks beat the 49ers at home and then, are in San Francisco but then lost at home.
Yep.
But that's not usually the case. Usually San Francisco struggles to win in Seattle. This one is at Levi Stadium. And I think that this is kind of the downturn for the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are going down this year. They're going to have a tough schedule. They have a tough game the week before this. And I think the 49ers take advantage of it. But I do think this is going to be a tough game and a battle just because it's Seahawks 49ers. But I think the 49ers get up and they win this game 26-20.
I like it. Another tough fought battle.
Tough game, yeah, physical game.
Absolutely not in that boat.
Ooh.
Because, through 3 games, the 49ers defense has still held opponents to 10 points or less. They're red hot. I mean, they might as well be the hot boys. They might as well. And it doesn't stop there because the Seattle didn't do anything to address O-line.
They didn't.
They didn't get better there.
Stone Forsythe.
Yeah, Stone Forsythe. Yeah. Listen, he's a poor man's Russell Okung. At the end of the day, they didn't address the O-line. They're going to bring in Aldon Smith, but Aldon Smith ain't going to be able to set the edge for the run and for the run game. You got Jamal Adams. Congratulations. It cost you first-round picks in not just this year's draft, but also next year's. So, way to go. So you're not going to be able to address things you need. He also can't cover in space.
Yeah.
And you just saw, if you're Seattle, you literally just watched the 49ers, as I said, rush for 375 yards. Right? You just saw it. You're going to go all out. You're going to try. I mean, you're going to do everything you can. It's not going to matter. Niners are going to run on you when they want to run on you. They're going to throw it over the top when they want to throw it over the top. You're going to get some Trey Lance sprinkled in the red zone as well. I think this will be the first game where you get a little heavy dose of it, just to kind of spook the rest of the teams in the NFC West. And the 49ers take care of business at home against the Seahawks, 30-13.
Oof. You just got them hammering people this year.
To start off the year, it's the Avenge Tour, right? The Avenging has to start off with a bang. Otherwise, nobody knows we're serious.
Well, then the 49ers travel to their home away from home.
It's true.
Because they spent a lot of time in 2020 in Glendale, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be playing the Cardinals in another divisional matchup. So they have to go from Seattle to Arizona. How do you see this one going?
Okay, listen. They're going to struggle early. They always do against Arizona, excuse me. They're going to struggle. They're going to be slow to contain Kyler Murray. All their new fancy schmancy wide receivers. They drafted like 6 of them. On top of DeAndre Hopkins. They're going to get some plays.
AJ Green.
That's true. And AJ Green. Yeah, besides AJ Green. DeAndre Hopkins, though, for sure. Maybe AJ Green. We'll see. But anyway, they're gonna have some success. Arizona is early. And then the O-line's going to wear down. And then the pressure is going to start mounting. And the 49ers are going to complete a nice little circle route to a running back for a big touchdown and get some momentum back. And they're going to have the lead. They're going to have the lead 21-17 with 1:10 left in the game. And Arizona's driving. And Kyler Murray's getting ready to cement himself, right? He had the big play, the big Hail Mary last year against the Bills. The drive of drives. This is the one that's going to solidify his and Cliff Kingsbury's legacy. Okay, this is the right pairing. This team can win the NFC West until Nick Bosa comes free off the edge and absolutely smashes Kyler Murray on a release. And we get a Greenlaw pick 6 to the house to solidify that game 27-17 San Francisco.
Whew. Yeah, I see this game being a high-scoring game. I think that they're going to struggle a little bit, playing with Arizona's wide spread open game. And I think that the secondary for the 49ers is going to have to, wake up and show up in a big way. And I think that the 49ers are going to have to outduel them. And I think that Jimmy Garoppolo will make just enough plays to do it. And I think that George Kittle is going to beat Budda Baker in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. And the 49ers win the game 38-33.
That is a high-scoring affair.
It's a barn burner.
That is a barn burner. So, look, 5 games down. Both of us have them at 5-0. Okay. This is where both you and I, when we were making our picks and we were discussing this a little bit, we're looking at each other and we're like, already? We're at 5-0? We're just like, okay, we're at 5-0, no hesitation. But now we got the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
We got Shanahan coming off a bye. And they got the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
This is a doozy of a game here. The only good news is they're at home. So you get to be at home prepping for this game. You were in Arizona. You're home away from home the week before, 2 weeks before. So you've really basically been at home for the last 3 weeks. How do you see this one playing out?
I think this one's going to be tight.
Yeah.
I think there's that offensive line for the Colts is much improved. I think Carson Wentz will be able to stay upright, and he will, be better. He'll have a better run game than he had in Philly, and they'll be a lot better. Buckner's going to be fired up for this. The defense in general is going to be fired up, trying to prove that they're better than the 49ers defense. I think this is going to be a defensive war between both teams, and I think that, this is the first one you start thinking the 49ers are in danger of losing, and I think the 49ers do lose. I think they're going to lose 23-20, a last-second field goal by the Colts, cause the 49ers to lose their first game, and they go 5-1 to start the season.
I went back and forth on this one, man. A lot. Had him win. Then I had him lose. Then I had him lose again. Then I had him win like three times in a row. And then I went full homer and was like, they're going to obliterate him. And then I got realistic. The reality of the situation is I don't think there's any world where this is a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
Colts don't have the firepower, but they do have the run game. They have the O-line play. This is the first team that I look at. This would be an incredible Super Bowl game.
True.
This is a very underappreciated game on that schedule. That Colts defense is incredible. Carson Wentz having a run game is going to be good for Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Less times that he has to try and push the ball downfield and make plays all by his lonesome. This is a battle for the ages. I told you what my prediction was before, and it's going to change because I have the Niners now losing this game.
Ooh.
I had them winning this game 16-13. I now have them losing this game 17-13 to the Colts. It's just one of those things where if the Niners aren't dialed in, you don't bring your best game against the Colts defense, then it's just going to come down to who makes the play at the end. And I think this is just a game kind of like that Baltimore game in 2019 where Baltimore just happened to have the ball at the end of the game, and they're going to happen to just have the opportunity to go down and make a play to win the game, and they will.
So next up, we've got the Bears.
Bears.
We don't know if it's going to be Justin Fields, if it's going to be the Red Rifle, but the 49ers are traveling to Chicago to play a 10 a.m. Pacific start time, which is always difficult. Mm-hmm. How do you see this one going? 49ers versus the Bears.
Look, it don't matter if it's the Red Rifle, Justin Fields, Mitchell Trubisky himself. After that loss to the Colts, you got to bounce back, and they're going to bounce back. They're going to obliterate the Colts. They're going to run the ball, the Bears, They're going to run the ball down their throats. I know that the Bears defense has been pretty solid. They're very, very good in the pass. I have some questions about their ability to stop the run, and the 49ers are going to put it to the test. 27-6, San Francisco, because Justin Fields is going to get himself a handful of another Ohio State Buckeye. He's coming for you. He's coming for you, Justin.
Yeah, I see this game as some cool matchups. Number one, I would love to see Khalil Mack go against Trent Williams, number one, but I think he's going to line up on Mike McGlinchey.
Yeah.
And the way I'm looking at this game is this is going to be the first time where people look at Mike McGlinchey and be like, you know what? Mike McGlinchey is playing off the hook this year. He is really balling out. This guy has a shot, to be something special. The way he's playing, and it's all because of the run game. I think the 49ers continue to get the run game going. They bounce back from the Colts game, and they go ahead and they take care of the Bears 30-17.
Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot. Now, they're coming home after that nice trip away.
Yeah.
And Cliff Kingsbury's coming back to town. Mm-hmm. Both of us have them basically dethroning them, right? In the first one, mine was a last-second pick six to the house by Greenlaw. Yours was a shootout in which Kittle catches one in the back of the end zone. And, Horseberry's having nightmares all over again of Kittle and Bosa. Do the nightmares come to fruition again this time around?
Yeah, I think last year the Cardinals really got away with the win in week one. I think the 49ers were a better football team than them, and the Cardinals got away with the win. And I think this time the 49ers beat them twice because I don't think the 49ers really should have to do anything special to beat the Cardinals because the Cardinals are a good football team, but they're not as good as the 49ers. I think Kyler Murray will get roughed up a little bit in this one. And I think that, the 49ers will go ahead early and they'll run the ball and they will do what they need to do. And they'll win this game in a close, tight one, 29-26.
That's interesting because I went tight as well with this one.
Yeah.
And I agree with you that I think they get it done twice this year against the Cardinals at home. I think they stick it to Cliff Kingsbury. Shanahan reestablishes himself as the cream of the crop in the coaching ranks of the NFC West. And it's the run game that gets it done. No circle routes this time. Cliff Kingsbury over-prepared for the circle routes, didn't prepare enough for the run game. And when they need a big stop late with the Niners leading 21-20 in the fourth on a 3rd and 5, they get a nice big stretch run from Raheem Mostert around the edge. He stays in bounds, doesn't go into the end zone, and instead, after a nice 65-yard scamper, just gives himself up at the 1, and the Niners kneel it out for a 21-20 victory.
And then we got another division rivalry game.
Another one.
Yeah, because we've got the Rams coming to town, play the 49ers, another prime time game, so the whites will probably be on. And for some reason, the Rams struggle to beat the 49ers and the whites. Deebo Samuel, they don't know who he is. Maybe they should figure that out.
They probably should.
But how do you see this one going, Rams versus the 49ers?
This is a tough one.
Tough breath.
But it's a tough one because I'm so confident the 49ers are going to absolutely smack this Rams team the first time around. Look, they've owned them. And until Sean McVay shows me something against the 49ers, especially in San Francisco, until he shows me something, I have no reason to believe that Sean McVay is going to be prepared for this game. The Rams got to have a tough schedule. They're not going to have an easy one. They're going to have a lot of things to think about other than the 49ers leading up to that game. So once they get to that game, you're going to have prep work to do, all that fun stuff. Listen, I trust Kyle Shanahan. I trust his game plans. Every time they've played the Rams, the first time of the season, whether it's in St. Louis, or not St. Louis, in Los Angeles, or in Santa Clara, they handle the Rams the first time they play them. This time around is no different. If history tells us anything, Shanahan is prepared for the Rams the first time around. 38-24, San Francisco.
Yeah, that's pretty close to what I'm thinking too, as far as score goes. I see this game going a certain way where I think the Rams are actually winning this game early.
Okay.
I think the Rams are going to be winning, and the 49ers are going to have to, do something to overcome, and I think they're going to. And that big adjustment is going to be the use of Jalen Hurd. I think Jalen Hurd just really springs onto the scene in a big way. He's already been making an impact, but this is his signature game, as you would. And he scores 3 touchdowns in this game, and the 49ers defeat the Rams 30-27.
I like it. I like it a lot. Next up is a game that I'm one of the most games I'm most excited for. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars and my boy Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
And the Niners taking off and setting sail to the East Coast in good old Jacksonville, Florida. Maybe facing one Tim Tebow as well. That'll be a fun game for me to watch if he is in fact on the roster and playing. How do you see this one playing out for Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer?
Not well. I think that the 49ers go into Jacksonville and absolutely smack them. I think that Trevor Lawrence feels this defense and he's not ready for it. I think the 49ers are up to the challenge. They know what this game means. This will put them in a prime position to be right in the thick of getting the number 1 seed in the playoffs, and they're going to be pushing for it. Trevor Lawrence isn't ready for what DeMeco Ryans is going to be able to do with this defensive front and those linebackers and blitzes. Look for K'Wan Williams to have a lot of sacks coming off, that nickel edge, blitzing and it's getting after him. So I think the 49ers are going to win this 38-17 with most of the points coming in the fourth quarter against the backups.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, it's not gonna be good. This is gonna be Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer's welcome to the NFL game, and not in the sense of Trevor Lawrence won't have one of those,
right?
But this is at a point in the season where Trevor's going to be starting to feel comfortable, and then you got this team and this defense and this pass rush to face. And I know that the Jacksonville Jaguars had one of the better drafts of most teams, but those are all young players. They're all young players.
Yeah.
This D-line ain't young. Other than Kinlaw, this D-line ain't. This isn't a young, inexperienced line.
They're good.
This is an experienced line. They're ready to go.
Good.
And by this point of the season, good luck. Good luck. Grind of the NFL season is going to be wearing on these young guys. Nick Bosa, man, he's hungry. He was in the Super Bowl not too long ago. Had to sit out the whole season. Nah, man, this is the fun part because this is where it's starting to get serious. This is where we're starting to get ever so close to the playoffs, and the Niners defense is going to come out and smack Trevor Lawrence around. They're going to smack that team around 42-14.
Woo!
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, they got smacked all right.
That doesn't. I don't feel good saying that.
So, for the first time since 2019, the Vikings are traveling to Santa Clara, to the scene of the crime, where they were absolutely obliterated by that run game, and Raheem Mostert really stepping onto the scene. But I think that this was going to be an interesting game. You got Cousins going against Shanahan, Zimmer, against Shanahan, the mindset. So who do you got? You got the Skull Vikes against the San Francisco 49ers.
I don't think this is the one where you have a repeat of last time. I want to give Zimmer some credit. Some. Not like a bunch, just some credit. I still don't think they've done enough offense. I still think Kirk Cousins is limited offensively in terms of what he can do. I'm not sold that they have an upgrade at the tight end position. If Irv Smith Jr. was so great, why wasn't he out snapping Kyle Rudolph his entire career?
It's true.
They didn't address that position at all. You still have Dalvin Cook. Still got most of that line in place. They did lose a couple pieces. They did sign some guys. We'll see if that works out in their favor. I think the Vikings, last year my prediction was that the Vikings were going to be a team that struggled, and I didn't know if they were going to be able to find their identity. I think it's the inverse this year. I think they get off to a pretty good start, and they know exactly what they are, and they're right in the thick of things. And I think this is going to be a closer game than I think the last one was. But at the end of the day, the Niners are still going to find a way to slow down Dalvin Cook enough to put the pressure on Kirk Cousins to make plays. And Kyle Shanahan's going to be able to give DeMeco Ryans a lot of insight into Kirk Cousins and what he wants to do. And it's just not going to be enough the Vikings defense can do to slow down the 49ers run game. And with that being said, 24-10 San Francisco.
Ooh. Yeah, I think this is going to be a tough one. I think this is going to be super close, and I think that really what it comes down to is the 49ers can make Kirk Cousins uncomfortable, make him move, make it so he doesn't feel, like he can stand in the pocket and get the ball down the field to Justin Jefferson. And once that happens, then they're in the driver's seat. This pass rush should be on a whole nother level. The fact that on third down they're going to be able to load up with the fastest guys is going to be the problem for Cousins, and the run game is going to be good enough. Now, however, I do think this is going to be very close. I think you're right. I think that they have learned from last time and they've adjusted, and Dalvin Cook will play a lot better than he did in that game where he basically just got stuffed the entire time. But I still think the 49ers hold them under 100 yards and win the game 24-20.
I like that. I like it a lot. Last one that's on the screen now.
Seahawks.
The other Seahawks matchup. Well, we're going to Seattle, to the 12th man. Ant, do the 49ers have it in them to do something they haven't done in some time and get a clean sweep of the Seattle Seahawks in a season? Can they do it?
Yeah, this one I was really thinking about, and I was kind of looking at who the Seahawks play before this and, all that, and who they play after, and really breaking it down. And do I think that Seattle is going to be struggling? Yes. Do I think that the 49ers are going to be riding high? Yes, I do. And I think that this is just one of those games that every ounce in me says the 49ers should win, and the 49ers aren't going to win. I think they should win it, and they won't. This will be one of those games that slips away that you're like, why did they not win this game?
But I thought you told Megan yesterday in the live stream there weren't going to be any of those games.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is one where when it's a rivalry, I think that's different. I think if they would have lost to the Bengals or the Bears or one of those games, then you would be like, oh yeah, they shouldn't lose those games. I didn't really consider a rivalry game as one. But I think that they end up losing 27-24 in a great game. The 49ers just kicked themselves over because they probably could have done a good job of getting a stranglehold on the NFC West.
This is where you and I are going to part ways.
Okay.
On this trip. Because I have a mindset. And like you said, Seattle's going to be roughed up. They're going to be beat up from the schedule and the season. And the teams they got to face. And they're going to shut down Russell Wilson. because he's taken an enormous amount of sacks. He's already missed a game with some bruising and some knee stuff, and you know what? They're just out of it. They're not making the playoffs. We're going to shut him down. We're going to keep him healthy. We're going to try and find a way to keep him happy because we don't want him to leave and destroy our franchise. And we're, 12 weeks into the season at this point. Yeah, 6 weeks left, and they're just like, it's not worth, missing him for the first part of next year if he gets hurt. So they're going to shut him down the week before this.
Wow. If I would have known that, I might have changed
I mean,
my thoughts.
listen, I get it. I understand. And the 49ers are going to roll. But that is my bold prediction, is that Seattle is going to be in such dire straits that they have to shut down Russell Wilson, because if they don't, they risk losing him. And because of that, the 49ers reap all of the benefits. They didn't do that with Washington in the draft, but they are going to do it in Week 12 against Seattle, 49-16. An absolute slaughtering, and grabbing a full stranglehold on the NFC West, because the Rams will have dropped a game they shouldn't have dropped 2 weeks prior.
I like your specificity.
Like I said, I mapped this out in my head.
It's very impressive.
But it also means that a lot of things can go horribly wrong. Absolutely.
Next up is the 49ers, another 10 o'clock start time in Cincinnati against the Bengals. This ought to be a fun one. This is the 17 game that was added, the extra away game that makes everything interesting. So who you got? You got 49ers or you got the Bengals?
They didn't help Joe Burrow with the line. They really didn't do him any favors.
They got him Jamar Chase.
Yeah, but they didn't help him with the line at all. And if you didn't help him with the line, I mean, Joe Burrow can, I guess, drop back and try and make plays, but he's also playing on what was a torn ACL. So, I mean, how much rust is going to be there? How is he going to look and feel? I just feel bad for Cincinnati fans. I wish they'd done more for Joe Burrow. I feel bad for Joe Burrow's knees. I hope they hold up. San Francisco 38-17.
Yeah, we're real close on this because I think that the 49ers are going to handle business. I don't think Joe Burrow is ready for that pass rush. He's not ready for D'Amico Ryans and that defense, and the 49ers win 34-17.
I like it. You can tell that we don't really care that much about the Bengals. We think that's going to be a gimme.
Yeah.
You can tell. Listen, the Avenge Tour. Both of us right now. You have the Niners sitting with 2 losses. I only have them at the 1. They got a game that they dropped in 2019. And literally the nail-biter of nail-biters. With Julio Jones just ever so, I guess, graciously breaking the plane at the end of the game. The Niners are on this Avenge Tour. They've avenged pretty much everything at this point by now. They're feeling good. Do they avenge this one?
Well, the big question is Julio Jones going to be on that Atlanta roster?
Listen, according to my sources, and by sources I mean my fantasy creation of a schedule that I've made up, yes, he's there still.
Because I've heard rumors they're going to trade him post June 1, and if they do, I think that will drastically change what they do. But they got Pitts, so they've got a lot of offense. I think the question is, do they have any defense? And I'm kind of thinking like Whoopi Goldberg and Eddie, you need to play American defense, and they don't do that very well. And I think that this is a high-scoring game, and I think Matt Ryan is going to get going. I think Pitts is going to get going. And they're going to have some success against the 49ers. But I think the 49ers are going to handle business, and they're going to win this game. This is going to be reminiscent of the New Orleans game from 2019, where it's back and forth. But the 49ers win 38-35.
I like it. I have San Francisco eking this one out too, in similar fashion to what happened last time. Not similar in terms of the dramaticness, in terms of the very last second, but the Niners having the ball with a couple minutes left, being down 21-20. And having to drive down the field, and Jimmy Garoppolo cementing himself as the quarterback of this team, at least through the end of this season, and throws a nice, beautiful touchdown pass in the corner of the end zone to George Kittle.
Oh, okay.
It's
I was
George
waiting.
Kittle. It's George Kittle.
I was waiting for River Craycraft.
No. If River Craycraft is on the field in that game, we're in big trouble.
We're losing. Yeah.
It's a loss. Look, George Kittle, great catch in the back of the end zone. The duo of duos hooks up, solidifies that win, and they avenge one of the last things on that bucket list of things that happened in the 2019 season to avenge, other than a Super Bowl, obviously.
And now we got a short week.
It's true.
So the 49ers play on Thursday Night Football.
It's true.
The eve before the eve of Christmas.
Literally.
And they play the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. I would like to know what you think about this one. Who you got? Niners, Titans.
Listen, I joked around on the live stream that, the Niners would handle Derrick Henry and, Ryan Tannehill. You force him to... They're playing on a short week. You got Christmas, 2 days, next 2 days. Season's been long. The Niners have done everything they needed to do. They've checked everything off the bucket list. They bring their A game, but they don't bring their A run defense. And so Derrick Henry's able to get a little loose. Derrick Henry breaks some runs that, as 49er fans, it breaks your heart. 3rd and longs, 3rd and shorts, where it looks like the Niners got it plugged up and he just bullies his way through. And he's able to run out that clock at the end, and Tennessee's able to hold on for very dear life, mind you, but hold on, 24-21.
That is a very impressive score. It's very eerily close to mine as far as the outcome. Who knows if the team matches up? I think that this is going to be a close game. And I think you're right. And with Vrabel, he's such a good coach. He's going to have them prepared. Their defense is good. They made great draft picks.
They did.
Adding Molden was a fantastic move.
It was.
I think that this will be a battle. This will be a tough game. The 49ers coming on the short week, like you said, is something I definitely took into consideration, especially having to travel to Tennessee. Unfortunately for some of our listeners, this game might not go the 49ers way, even though they're going to be there. But the right way is always the 49ers way. But anyways.
And the cutback.
Oh, and the cutback.
Yeah,
right.
that too.
But Tennessee is going to eke out this game 24-20.
Yeah, that's like almost the same score.
Almost.
Might as well have just been the same score.
Yeah. But I didn't. I wrote down 24-20. So
I wrote down 24-21. So there's that. Listen. They got the Texans next.
Yeah.
All right. Is Deshaun Watson playing?
Don't know.
Is he in prison? We don't know.
Could be Davis Love.
Could be Davis Love. Could be Tyrod Taylor.
Could be.
For all we know.
Yeah. It could be Blake Bortles.
Oh, God.
Even though he's on the Packers, it could be him.
Could be anybody.
Could be Josh Rosen.
God, I hope it's Josh Rosen, dude. I really do. And how bad is this going to be for the Texans?
All right. Well, I'm going to go into the premise that this is going to be Deshaun Watson playing. I think he's going to reach an agreement, a settlement, and he's going to be playing. Okay. But that team is completely dismantled. They completely, they're regrowing and redeveloping that team, and they have a lot of room to grow. I don't know what they're going to have at the receiver position. They got Brandon Cooks, which I love Brandon Cooks, but there's no guarantee he's going to be healthy. So.
And he's just not a number one anymore.
No, he's not. He's just got great speed, but I'm not worried about Jason Verrett locking him down and that pass rush getting there. So I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to have much time. I think he's going to be running for his life, and the 49ers are going to win. But because I respect Deshaun Watson's game so much, 31-14.
I reserve the right to be completely wrong on this, and I also reserve the right to tell you I told you so. This is the only game that I was swinging scale, because if Deshaun Watson is playing, this score that I'm about to put out is not happening. But I'm working under the premise that Deshaun Watson is not playing.
Okay.
And it's not because he's not working anything out. I think the legal stuff is over. I just think he does not want to play with the Texans. And so he literally is like, puts his foot down and is like, no, not going to do it. And just sits it out the year and waiting for them to deal him. And because of that, San Francisco rolls 38-3 in what is just an embarrassing performance by the Texans. And if you thought the final nail in the coffin for Bill O'Brien was J.J. Watt starting a mutiny, it's this game. It's going to be such a cluster F.
He's already fired.
I'm aware that he's already fired, but it's going to be such a cluster F that the only thing you're going to be able to do is go, God, I hate that Bill O'Brien. I hate that Bill O'Brien. It's just the worst.
So, finale time.
Finale.
And the 49ers play at SoFi Stadium against the Los Angeles Rams. And what could be a huge, huge game. How do you got this one going? This one's probably going to end up being flexed under the lights. We're going to get the white uniforms versus the blue uniforms, or even that yellow uniform. It's going to be fun. Who you got, Alex? Ooh, deep breath.
I have the Niners losing this one.
Ooh.
Losing the finale. But there's a caveat. And that is, going into this game, the Niners already had the number 1 seed all locked up. Okay. So the 49ers take it a little easy. Get a little more heavy dose of Trey Lance. Let some of their younger guys roll. They're definitely trying to keep guys healthy. You don't see any D Ford, maybe other than a few snaps. Nick Bosa's on a massive pitch count. And it's just a tight back and forth game. Trey Lance shows some good stuff. He makes some mistakes late. And they're able to capitalize. The Rams are late. They're able to hold off the Niners and win 28-20. But It doesn't matter because the Rams dropped some games that they shouldn't have dropped. They dropped one earlier to Arizona. They dropped one to Seattle that they shouldn't have dropped. And so the Niners have just enough capital and have just that one extra game that even this loss doesn't dwindle the season, and they hold on to the NFC West. Whether or not they hold on to the 1 seed, though, is a whole other problem.
Yeah, I have basically come into this with the idea that the 49ers have already won the West. They don't need the Rams game to win the division, and in fact, they're actually locked into that number 2 seed.
Okay.
And that just they have the 3 losses, and that they're going to go ahead and rest people they know they're going to be playing the next week, and so they are going to lose this game to the Rams. But I think it's going to be a little bit closer than people would normally realize because the 49ers backups that are playing with passion. But I think the Rams do win the game 26-19.
Man, we're pretty close on those scores.
Yeah,
pretty close on those scores. Look, I mean, I like this.
So what did you have their final record being?
3 losses. So the Niners finish at 14-3. 3 losses, including the very last game. That may impact their 1 seed. It may not. I think we both kind of are comfortable with them sitting around that 2 seed is where we think they're going to end up.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 losses. What I had, you have them 4, correct?
Yeah, 13-4.
Yep. Oh, I should have just looked up. There's the number right there. The editor is so good at putting stuff where we can see them, and I just never look. Sorry, Mr. Editor guy. I apologize. So no, I mean, I think that's a fair number. I don't think that's over the top crazy. I feel we both thought at times we were trying to find losses.
Yeah. Definitely. I know I was looking at it, and there was a lot of times I was like, man, I think the Niners are going to win this game, but they got to have some losses, right? I think you were just finding, spots where the 49ers could lose. I think I just have so much faith in this roster, and the coaching staff and what they're doing. And I think that, I think if we would have put out this last year, no one would even have blinked an eye, before all the injuries and stuff, because 49ers, I mean, everyone thought they were the best team in 2019, and they should have been the best team last year as well. And they've improved on that roster. So there's no reason to believe they're not going to come out and have a great season.
And if I'm not mistaken, most of us had them last year around the 3-loss, 4 or 5-loss range.
Yeah, it was either 12-4 or 13-3. I think is where we're kind of around. The injuries, I think, is really what skewed everything,
kiboshed everything.
But I think I would be happy with anything around there. I think that would be kind of okay. Depending on the injuries and stuff, But I think if Jimmy and this core stay healthy for most of the season or all the season, and that's what we're going on right now. You have to kind of think that that's going to happen, that the 49ers can win 13 or 14 games this year. I think that is completely within the wheelhouse. I think a rough season would be them winning 10 or 11.
Oh yeah.
I think almost that's a disappointment considering how much they've built this roster and how good they did in free agency and training camp. I mean, and the draft.
No, I agree with you. A 10 or 11 win season. I don't know if that even gets us into the playoffs in the NFC.
It all depends on how much everybody roughs each other up.
That's true. But it would definitely 100% be a disappointment. A 10 or 11 win season for the Niners this year with this roster, this talent, with the guys they have coming back. It's not what you're looking for.
Yeah.
It would not be something that 49ers fans would be very happy about. It would definitely call into question some stuff on Shanahan and Lynch. I don't think either one of them is on the hot seat, but there's definitely questions in terms of, is this team going in the right direction? Because the pieces that you brought in obviously can't get it done. And so that window, that Super Bowl window that all of us thought was wide open, it's very narrow if that happens this year.
I don't think so.
Well, it depends on how they do the playoffs.
Well,
right?
because you have a rookie pay scale coming up.
That's true.
So you're freeing up money. You can sign extra guys. I think they extended their window by getting a rookie quarterback.
They definitely
if they
propped it open.
If they didn't have that quarterback and they were still
struggling,
still the way they are, and you're right. If they had that season, yes, 100% you'd be accurate on that. I just think that maybe that helped them, but there's going to be big questions, and I think that they are going to rise to the occasion. And I think that they've heard the noise. I think the players have heard the noise, and they're tired of it, and they want to take charge of this season. You're not going to hear anything about revenge tour, none of that. That was last year. This year they're more silent about it, but they're going to move in silence and just take care of business. They definitely set a certain demeanor of aggressiveness and physical bully ball, and they're going to take that on offense and defense. And I think the thing with defense is you're seeing a big move towards speed. Interior defensive line got bigger to handle the run, and on the edge, they got even faster.
I mean, listen, I think the defense, the addition of Samson Ibakam was the icing on the cake for me when they brought him in. The more film I've watched on him, the more I like him, the more things I think he can add to this team defensively, the more different ways, the different types of schemes you can use him in and the things he can do. You can put him back there as an outside linebacker if you absolutely want to and send him on, uncertain blitzes. You can put him down as a hand in the ground edge rusher as well. His versatility is off the charts. And I think he's going to have a breakout year with this group. I really, really feel like this is going to be the year that he kind of shows himself. I'm also looking forward to see what Javon Kinlaw adds to the table because, man, a full offseason and a full work of preparation for this guy with a healthy Nick Bosa next to him and no pressure for him to have to play 90% of snaps with a healthy D-line.
I'll tell you, don't sleep on Zach Kerr.
True.
That guy is going to be causing all kinds of problems. The fact that he's able to play in this rotation, they are going to keep DJ Jones and Kinlaw fresh. And Kerr and Hurst and Givens and all those guys are going to be rotating through. And yes, it's going to be tough for all these offensive lines. You're going to see a lot of sacks in the third and fourth quarter where these guys just do not quit. And that's going to be so much fun. Man. And nothing is more exciting than an impressive D-line.
Really isn't. And this D-line already on paper looks impressive. I cannot wait till week 1, and I feel bad for Detroit and Penei Sewell. That's how you start your NFL career. That's how you're starting your season. Oh, my Lord. I feel so bad for him. But anyway, let us know down below in the comment section what you thought of this prediction. Are we being too homery? Probably. But that's okay. Let us know about it down below. Do you have the Niners going undefeated? We want to hear that too. Do you think we're going to absolutely tank this year? If your name's Michael Tyson, you probably do. And that's okay. Everyone's allowed to have their opinion. Let us know about it down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell because we got a live stream coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, you do not want to miss the live stream. We're going to be talking all 49ers news and about rookie minicamp. What is going on there? We got the Treys on the field, so it's going to be a lot of fun to start talking about Trey Lance and what he looks like operating Kyle Shanahan's offense. Baptism by fire. We'll see how much he can learn going into training camp, but at least it's the first step in getting guys back on the field. It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be extremely exciting. 49ers fans, you don't want to miss Friday. You don't want to miss any of this great content. Make sure you join the Cutback community today. Help us get to 1K. And until next time, you stay safe.
Remember, the right way is always the 49ers way.
And I rhymed and everything.